Hey guys, it's Luna. Welcome. Today we have a bit of a different video than tarot, and today we will actually be talking about the general energies and kind of the overall energies that have been really present in not only my own life, but I'm seeing collectively. So I'm hoping to provide some loving light and clarity on how to move forward through some of the issues that I know are not only prevalent for me and those around myself, but many worldwide. So we're gonna get right into this, and I'm gonna light a candle of a prayer of intention to send out a load and unlimited abundance of light and healing towards all of you. And may you bring your spirits to the heightened, most beautiful amount. May you understand all that you need to know and have clarity for 111 on the clock. May you have clarity for all that you are lacking. And may your perceptions change to the Most Highs. Amen. Okay. Okay, guys, so without further ado, we're gonna get right into this video. There is a selenite wand that is here to accompany us during this time, so don't mind that. Alrighty, so guys, if you have been on my channel, I have been talking about backroom energy lately, and this is kind of that energy of the things we've shoved in our closet, those things that we don't really want to talk about right now or think about. It's the fears or the perceptions of things that we cannot handle, right? And because of this, a lot of us have been overwhelmed. Think about it like a computer. If you have multiple tabs open, but you just kind of like minimize them into the background, but not look at them, they still run on the computer and it still takes up memory and RAM and all that type of stuff. So your mind is the same way. Whatever you are focusing on, whatever is really prominent, whether that be in your subconscious or in your frontal conscious area, it is taking energy. And sometimes we can get too caught up in the now or too caught up in the later. And without the balance, it's really hard to keep your energies in check, right? Too many tabs, too many things to think about, too much, right? I know lately I've been seeing the overall theme of fear, right? And for example, some of those fears are death. Trigger warning there. But it's fear of losing the loved ones around us, or even sometimes ourselves. And you know, regardless of why that reason of this fear is there, why the actual reason it's coming up, the reason you have the fear is important more so than why, you know? If that makes any sense. Either way, when you're fearful, let's say, of losing someone, you have a attachment, right? And a lot of us are dealing with trying to detach from things. We're trying to become new people and evolve, right? But this is very hard if we're too caught up in the fears and the lack. If you've been like me or kind of others in the collective, perhaps you felt really nostalgic and you think about times, and there's a few ways that it kind of comes about, but overall I would say there's two types of energies when you're looking back. There's the very happy, grateful feeling that you have when you look back at your really good memories, or sometimes if they're bad, you're grateful that it's over, Or it's the painful type of feeling you get when you look back at your memories, that it feels like, I wish I would have done this, or it's a lack, it's a regret, it's more negative than helpful, right? So this all kind of correlates with one another. It may sound like rambling, but I promise it does kind of all tie in with another, because right now we're thinking a lot of the things that cause us discomfort, fear, lack mentality, and we're having to rewrite these little coding, if you want to speak, coding in our brain to become anew, right? We have to become new people mentally, spiritually, and believe we are new people before we can do that. And to do that, we have to understand why they exist. We're scared of change. Why are we scared of change? We're scared of change because it's different, it's uncomfortable. There are literal parts in the brain called the ego, the ID, and the superego, and these are all very responsible for keeping us in check, right? It's the mental and human part of us that makes sure we don't die, make sure we don't kill ourselves, right? It's the to survive, the hunt, the drive. But in reality, we don't really need these so much in the way that we used them before, right? Our ID will tell us now, if we're not looking forward to something, don't do it because it's gonna cause you discomfort, right? The same thing goes for little things such as getting out of bed in the morning, right? Or brushing your teeth, or doing an assignment, maybe going to work. Whether it's that, or it's something as big as not wanting change of losing your partner or your best friend, or something along those lines, that whether you willingly would want to disconnect, or whether it's a forcible disconnect of perhaps life and a transition on. They hit 8:33 on the clock. There is an understanding that you are never apart from them, and right now we are transcending into 5D consciousness, okay? And the reason why all of this, for the past 8 minutes I've been talking about backroom energy and fears and discomfort, is because these are the shadow parts of ourselves, so to speak, that we're working through to transform ourselves into our 5D. Right now we're experiencing so many physical discomforts, right? It's because we're having those literal DNA upgrades. I mean, it's not a joke or a conspiracy. We're experiencing a collective awakening at this moment, and because of that, so many people are experiencing discomfort. We fight, we aren't comfortable with change, a lot of us, and a lot of the times we do fight it, and that's only going to cause more discomfort. But if you can find the perfect flow of understanding and adapting to the divine's nature, things can be a lot easier. With this 5D consciousness, right? We're right now working, I believe this all started spiritually, right? We had an inkling in our spirit and it showed us something, and that started our awakening. And then over time, we have more awakenings, and we realize that we can go back to who we were at any point. It's not impossible, but once we choose to not, and we choose to better ourselves continuously, it's a completely different life. I want to affirm to you right now that right now we are going through a mental 5D consciousness awakening. We are having to, it went from the spirit to the body, and now we are finally kind of tipping off the icing of the cake by wrapping up the loose ends in the mind. We were working on the mind when we originally started with the spirit, but now there's still those things that, again, the backroom energy, we cleaned our room out now in our mind. Now, what did we shove in the closet for last? Or what did we leave in there thinking that we didn't have to clean it up, right? Think about it like an entire move. We had to completely clean up, clear out, pack up what was out there, but then we still didn't go in the closet, or we didn't get all the little nitty-gritty dirt stuff. And a lot of those are things everybody has: fear of death, fear of perhaps loneliness, or not being enough, confidence issues, whatever it may be. It is so various. Perhaps you're not being who you want to be. Right now, astrologically, it's a time of, if you're not producing the results that you want to produce, or if you're only producing what you think is settling, or perhaps you're just ignoring what your body and soul wants, it's not going to be ignorable anymore. And I say this from experience and observation of many now. The lifestyle habits, whether that's eating, physical, mental beliefs, whatever it may be, it's no longer doable. It's not up to par anymore. And we're having more extreme side effects of what this is now. If at one point sugars only bothered you a little bit, now they are becoming sickening to the point where they may cause you a bunch of anxiety, or your stomach may feel horrible afterwards. It's that type of progression of things that once were not for you, that only caused you a bit of pain or a bit of discomfort, is now overwhelming to the point you cannot ignore it anymore. 13:36 on the clock. So I want to be very specific when I say this. We are not here to settle. We are not here to pretend to be who we're not. We are extremely loving, bright beings, okay? I want you to know that. We are unlimited and exponentially vast beings of light, that when we co-create with Source, right, we are a part of Source. When we can believe in that we can connect in with that, we can produce anything. It may feel like we're being tested, because we are. Do we really believe? Because at the end of the day, a lot of us, when tested, we cave. And Spirit is building us up to the point where we don't cave anymore. We don't question. I was listening to a preacher one day, and she said, something along the lines of, now, I'm sorry if I butchered, it wasn't word for word, but we do not, when people are blessed, right? Sometimes we have the idea that they have something we don't. Why are they being blessed when we aren't? Or they must just deserve it more. You know what the only thing they have more than you is? Is trust. It's faith. And it was hard for me to hear that at first, and I think it's a little hard to say that. But when we really think about it, trust and faith is the only thing. It's proven we can heal ourselves through things that we were told we could never heal. It's proven we can do things and produce physical, tangible results that we never thought we could with belief. But it takes the belief. You can't be questioning, oh, well, maybe if this works, then I'll believe. Sadly, that's not how it works. This world is meant for special people, and we are all very special if we allow ourselves to be. Please let that sink in. I cannot emphasize that enough. If we all allowed ourselves to be who we were meant to be, we would live so in unison. Imagine a world of how in flow we would be if we all did the things that we love to do, right? We all are so created differently with different fears and different likes. So why we aren't created differently for no reason. We have different paths to go on. We have different things to heal and different people to heal at different times to experience, right, guys? In this 5D consciousness, we are becoming different. We are becoming anew. We are going into this world with upgrades because we are the ones who are changing the world. We are becoming the new influencers. It's not egotistical to believe in yourself, and it's not selfish or narcissistic to love yourself as much as you love your parents or your lovers, your child, your children. Have that love for yourself. Have that confidence in yourself. Source, God has that confidence in yourself. If you ever heard of Maji, Maji got the tea. She's beautiful. She always says, God hired me, who is gonna fire me? And that's right. You know, like, we doubt ourselves more than anyone, and people doubt themselves, so why wouldn't they doubt you, right? If you hear what I'm saying, I hope you do, because right now, all we need to do is stay grateful, okay? Focus on all that's hurting. We're not perfect, but we're perfect in our own way. The fears that we have are there to be worked through and transmuted into a knowing and belief. If you're fearing death, right? Know that this is only a physical plane. Maybe you fear fear. Try exercises to actually disconnect your brain from your body of fear or pain, right? Start with maybe ice. Like, these are literal things. Like, if you're scared of these things, prove to yourself you can handle things. Don't go out hurting yourself, of course, but know that your mind is much more powerful than you give it credit. It can disconnect at any point and just kind of shut off, so to speak, right? We pass out from pain, we pass out from things, right? We don't have to worry about suffering. The only suffering that really we give ourselves is mental pain that turns into physical pain. And if we don't really check ourselves with all these things that are holding us back right now, whatever it may be, I can only give the scenarios that I've been hearing, but just be mindful of lack mindset. Stay grateful for experiencing things and know that everything happened for a reason, right? Whatever you may be not knowing of, right? Whatever it may be, maybe you're scared of you're not doing enough. And the only thing I have to say is you're breathing, you're existing, you have a chance to continue on. I need that to resonate with you. You are breathing, you are here, you have been given another chance to continue on. This is not the end of the journey, and every cycle can be repeated. Do you want to repeat this cycle? Or are you going to do your absolute best and that's all you need to do to continue? You are doing your absolute best. I really want you to know that. Guys, there's a lot of things that are going on right now, and especially externally. I mean, with everything worldwide, it's very hard not to get caught up in it. But I say this, and use your discernment, use your all of that. It is good to be prepared if shit ever hits the fan. But to focus on that, to live it every single day, right? It drives your mind mad. And you need to really be keeping your mind safe on what you're producing and what you're telling it. If you're watching the news every day and all you're seeing is people being sick, dying, war, whatever it may be, right? That's all you're gonna think about the world, and that's all you're gonna produce in your close circle as well, because that's your vibration, chaos, fear, things that will produce that vibration more. It is just the same if you are a person who meditates and focuses more time outside, appreciating whatever it may be, and spending very little to no time exposing your very delicate brain to things that are very traumatic. You're gonna produce things that are peaceful, right? Now, that's not to mean don't go out of your comfort zone, but you know the difference between a comfort zone and deliberately putting yourself in negative or toxic environments. Okay, guys? We all know that. So, please use your discernment on that. But, let's see. Spirit, is there anything else that I should really talk about? This is kind of just going off the top of my head. I was just told to keep speaking, and it does make sense as I kind of think about it. We are entering a new period. We are needing a new level of trust in Source, in God, whatever you want to call it, in the divine. And because of that, I think every issue we have right now, it comes down to trust, I think, in my opinion. If you're fearful of your future, right? You're not trusting that the divine has it covered. If you're upset of your past, you're not trusting in either. Now this goes for the future and past. You're not trusting in the divine or yourself that you made the decisions that were necessary at the time, or you learned something, right? If you didn't learn something, what is there to learn now? It's never too late from any situation to get what you need from it. Just because they're not around, that person or that situation, doesn't mean you didn't experience that energy for a reason. So, guys, just know that everything serves a purpose in such a deep and depthful way, if that's a word. I know this will reach whoever it's meant to, and I know that you guys will flourish from this time. You will be able to get through all that you need to get through. This is not a permanent time, but just look at things objectively. Don't let your emotions, especially unchecked emotions, cloud your judgment or your viewpoint. I actually quite literally have a little sticky note on my wall that says, don't allow unexamined emotions to overwhelm your growth. So if it takes looking at yourself or parts of yourself as a whole nother person, do it. If it takes detaching yourself, do it. Whatever it takes, you've got this. Stay solution focused. Challenges can be fun if you make them fun, right? Things are only overwhelming when we ignore them. So just be mindful of that. Your life has many sweet, peaceful, and loving things all around it. Count your blessings and count all that is around you and change your perception. All it takes is a perception shift. Just like, I'm gonna give this example and then we'll close out this little video. I was so, every time I would look back on like scenarios, I would feel really upset. If I was going through something happy, even in the moment, I would feel automatic pain. I would feel so sad that I could never experience this moment again. And it was a lack mentality. Because even in that moment I wasn't there. I was already thinking about the future, and I was already thinking about everything other than that moment and just being there. So not only did I need to become mindful in that moment, but I needed to become mindful that all it needed and all I needed to do is be grateful. And you know what? I can be grateful now for the me then and the me now. And that makes up for everything. I hope that makes sense, that it just takes a simple perception shift of gratitude, of trust, of love, and suddenly everything becomes wiped clear from that dark mud that hurt your lens of life, your perception view. Be grateful. You got to experience life. I think we forget how precious that is. So really think about that. There was a quote in a cookbook too. Imagine everything that you have got taken away in a moment, and imagine the feeling that you would have when you got it all back. Imagine that feeling of receiving everything you have, whether it's people, places, things, your senses. How happy, how grateful would you be? Feel that gratitude every day, guys. I'm gonna end it off here. We forget how many blessings we have and we become numb to what we have. So just be mindful. Notice the love and sweetness in every moment. I truly, truly love every one of you, and I love this moment. I love you all, okay? Trust in yourself, and whatever is coming up, look at it with love. Handle it with love, and examine it with love. Maybe it doesn't need to be examined, maybe it just needs to be felt. Whatever it may be, you got this, and as scary as it may sound, you know what to do. Trust that, and trust the divine, okay? I love you all. May you have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this, and I hope to see you guys again. If you are looking for any personal readings or to contact me about business inquiries, my email is down below in the description. Tips and donations are also accepted through my PayPal. But please stay safe, guys. thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you all. I pray this brought you love and light and clarity. May you all receive the most loving light. Amen. Bye, guys.